What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here. In today's video, the new season is starting in just a few hours, but Niantic has already updated all of the moves that we are going to see change in the Season of Light. So as you guys can see today, we are going to be using Tentacruel on our team, and I have Scald on it. So if you guys want to preemptively go switch around some moves, try out some new Pokemon, you guys can do so before the start of the season. But Tentacruel with Scald is now a part of the meta. Before, it's pretty tanky, poison water typing, it has poison jab and acid spray, but before it had hydro pump, which was really tough to play with, and now it has Scald, and I think it performs really well in the Great League. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's get right into it. Alright, getting into the first game, we have Cofagrigus on the lead versus a shiny Galarian Stunfisk. So we're going to go ahead and stay in this matchup. They decide to swap out into Sableye, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and stay in and go for a Dark Pulse here. I will have to give up a shield, but I think we can take this one, keep Cofagrigus alive, and take Switch. Now, I don't necessarily want to bring in Buzzwole right here, so I'm going to look to bring in Tentacruel because I think, one, it can take out the Sableye here, and two, it should be able to get to a Scald on the back end versus the Galarian Stunfisk, which is going to be huge. We're going to go ahead and no shield, and you guys are going to see how bulky this Tentacruel is. That's a foul play there. We can tank it very easily. I'm going to overcharge just a bit and now go for Scald. Remember, Galarian Stunfisk did swap out right away, and this Scald, it just does that nice neutral damage that you need. Trust me, Tentacruel is clutch now, and it's an absolute monster versus Azumarill. Now, we do see Galarian Stunfisk come back in, so we're going to go ahead and go for the Scald, and I believe this was a CMP tie as well, and we get to it. This is going to do super effective damage, and look at that, about 50% HP, and we got CMP tie. That is huge. This is something Tentacruel could never do before. They decided to undercharge the Rock Slide and farm me down. That is fine. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Buzzwole now and just counter down. This thing's an absolute monster. I love using it here in the Great League. We're going to go ahead and let this Rock Slide go through for neutral damage, and we will be able to counter down there. They bring in a Venusaur, and this is where Buzzwole absolutely excels. Galarian Stunfisk and Venusaur, it can completely tear it apart because of that neutral damage. We will swap out into the Cofagrigus now and just force the energy here from Venusaur. I decide to shield right here because I want to get that final shield from the opponent here with the Dark Pulse, and then we will farm down because I think the Galarian Stunfisk might have another charge move, so it might get very close at the end. So I want to try to CMP tie here with Buzzwole because Venusaur is going to have to throw. So we're going to go ahead. Obviously, we have no shield, so the Cofagrigus will go down, but we will bring in our Buzzwole and counter down. Now, I don't get as much energy as I wanted to. I'm one away right there, but we take it anyways, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Alright, moving to the next one, we have Cofagrigus on the lead versus Defense Form Deoxys. Very positive lead for us, so let's see how they decide to adjust. They decide to bring in Altaria. So another tough situation where I need to stay in right here, but after getting a shield potentially, or the health, I can come in with Tentacruel. And you guys are going to see why. We get a shield, so we're going to come in with the Tentacruel right here. Poison Jab does neutral damage. We also have Acid Spray. But what we need to do in these situations is really threaten with the potential Blizzard. So we're going to go ahead and let that Sky Attack go through. You guys are seeing the bulk right here. We're going to load up as much energy as we can. We will give up a shield right here, because my goal, I still have a good answer, 2 answers for Defense Form Deoxys. My goal is to force a shield right here and then go for Scald. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Acid Spray. If this gets a shield, oh my goodness, watch Tentacruel. We get the shield, and one more, we get the Acid Spray. Tentacruel, you're an absolute monster now here in the Great League. It's so much fun to use. Boom, down goes the Altaria with 1 HP in a Dream as well, which means our opponent will not get a lot of energy. They bring in Galarian Stunfisk, and it is all over. Buzzwole is going to come onto the field and absolutely wreak havoc right here. This is why this meta shakeup is going to be so good. There are so many strong Pokemon that you guys can try out, and the old guard, the Galarian Stunfisk, the Registeels, the Walreins, they're not going to be as prevalent. I think Galarian Stunfisk still will be. But ultimately, these new Pokemon with all these new move updates are gonna massively shake up Go Battle League. Good game. All right, moving next one, we have Alolan Ninetales now on the lead. We'll have to see if it is Charm, and it is going to be Charm. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just go straight for Shadow Ball. Obviously, I can't be going for Dark Pulse because of that fairy typing, but Shadow Ball here, if I can get myself shield advantage, that's going to be perfect for me. So we do get a shield, because what I'll do here is I'll come and farm down with Tentacruel. Remember, we have Poison Jab. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. It is going to be that Weather Ball. That's fine. We'll go ahead and let it go through. They decide to swap out into Galarian Stunfisk, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Buzzwole right here. I love the animation from Buzzwole. It actually looks like it is punching these. It is just hitting so hard. You can just, just smacking it down. We're going to go ahead and give up one shield right here. And I'm going to look to commit to the farm down if I can get back-to-back charge moves here versus the Alolan Ninetales, which I should be able to do, because if, look at that, just fully powers down the, we're going to go ahead and go for the lunge as well. I'm trying to force it. Remember, superpower does neutral damage, so I'm hoping they decide to shield, but they no-shield the lunge, which is fine. I will go for the superpower now to definitely force the shield here from my opponent, but we do get that attack debuff, which is going to be pretty huge here. Now, they do charm us down, which is fine. I can come in with Tentacruel. Remember, we still have shield advantage, 1-0. They will decide to swap out at the last second now into Swampert, and we have a Scald ready to go. This is going to be doing neutral damage, and what's so cool, like I've said before, this whole video with Tentacruel, it is now a threat. The only way Swampert can take us out is with an Earthquake, but it's way too quick, and even if they did build up to Earthquake, we still have a shield, and we can get to Scald. Look at that. Hydro Cannon just does nothing. Look at these Poison Jabs as well. We do swap into Cofagrigus to catch the charge move, but they did decide to surrender right there. Good game. All right, moving next, we got Cofagrigus versus Tropius here on the lead. Let's see how we can handle this. I'm going to go ahead and stay in. They decide to swap out into Drapion, so we're going to bring in the Buzzwole right away. Now, this is a matchup I'm really not familiar with, and also, I don't know, I think this is going to be Aqua Tail. It's really quick, and the Aqua Tail completely changes this around. If it was Crunch Sludge Bomb, we'd be in a lot better position. Now, I decided to go for Superpower. I should probably be going for Lunge, because now I'm going to be lowering my own defense and attack, so that's a mistake by me. I should be going for the Lunge. We will give up a shield right here, and I'm going to commit to the hard counter farm down, because I'm going to hope to see that Tropius on the back line come back into us, and then I'll just throw a lunge. Now, this is where I messed up. Because I lowered my attack, they get to another Aqua Tail, so that is so unfortunate. It's a big mistake on my end, but let's see if we can recover right here. We're going to come in with the Cofagrigus and farm down, get an extra Shadow Claw, and we do see a Bastiodon come in. Okay, so all hope is not lost, because remember, Tentacruel only takes neutral from grass type moves, and I do super effective damage with Poison Jab. So we're going to go ahead and swap into the Tentacruel right now, see if we can draw out the Tropius, but they're deciding to stay in. They are going to go for the Stone Edge right here, which is fine by me. It's not going to do too much damage. Tentacruel's pretty tanky, and we will go ahead and go for Scald right away. This is going to do super effective damage. But the thing is, they're waiting for that charge move so they can swap out right away, and we're going to come in. They're going to come in with the Tropius, but look at these Poison Jabs. We do get the Acid Spray off as well. And remember, we still have our Cofagrigus, which is very, very bulky. So we do throw this Acid Spray, and it was a CMP tie. That is huge right here for us, because that means they will not be able to farm us down, and the Leaf Blade will be taking us out. We're going to come in with Cofagrigus, and now it's going to be a race to the charge move right here. Can I get to the Dark Pulse in time? Yes, we can. We take out the Tropius. Now, Bastiodon swapped out after getting hit with the Scald, so how much health does it have? It's actually pretty low. This is within Shadow Ball range. We are going to race to the charge move. We get to the Shadow Ball in time, but is it going to be enough? Cofagrigus, can you do it? No! 1 HP in a dream, and we farm down. Good game. Very well played. All right. Moving next one, we got Cofagrigus versus Galarian Stunfisk again. We're going to go ahead and stay in this matchup, and let's see what my opponent decides to do. They're deciding to stay in as well. That's fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to overload and go for the Dark Pulse right here. I'm thinking I might need to shield an Earthquake, because if they're not swapping out, it tells me there might be like a Medicham in the back, potentially something weak to Cofagrigus. So I will give up a shield right here, but it was just a Rock Slide Shield Bait. That is so unfortunate for me. So what I need to do now is try to catch the charge move here on Buzzwole, because I'm guessing that since they already got one shield, they're going to go for that Earthquake, but it was just another Rock Slide, but we can tank that just fine. Now we do see a Charm Alolan Ninetales come in, and this is where Scald Tentacruel can take over. If you can come in and farm something down with that much energy. Remember, Galarian Stunfisk, I think it has a little bit. It should be near a Rock Slide, but it is nowhere near an Earthquake to one-shot me. So we're going to go ahead and no-shield the Psyshock. This does hurt, but it's going to be okay. We can tank it right there. Poison Jab down, and now we have a lot of energy right here. So let's see what decides to come back in. It is going to be... probably going to be the Galarian Stunfisk. It is. We're going to go ahead and go for Scald. This is going to one-shot the Galarian Stunfisk, knowing how much HP it has left. And they decide to shield it. We're going to swap back into Cofagrigus and go for the Dark Pulse right away, forcing that final shield from our opponent, as we did save our energy. And they decide to double shield, so they are really weak in the back to Cofagrigus. So we will give up the final shield right here, because I think that was enough for an Earthquake. And it was an Earthquake. That is huge for us. We're going to go ahead and load up on Energy Overload as well, and go for the Dark Pulse now to take out the Galarian Stunfisk. And this is probably going to be a good game as Galarian Stunfisk goes down. Final Pokemon is going to be a Trevenant. Beautiful. Hey, ZyoniK hit Dark Pulse. I went for Shadow Ball. What was I doing? I had the Dark Pulse there. I was not in the best battling state this morning. So a mistake. Could have been a win. Obviously, I had, and I tried just around. I'm like, just get out of here. I had the Dark Pulse ready to go, so that's a technical win on my gameplay right there, but I just messed up and didn't throw Dark Pulse. But good game to my opponents today. Tentacruel, Poison Jab, Scald, and Acid Spray. It's just that perfect balance that you needed right there. It's going to be taking out the Tapu Finis and the Azumarill, those Charmers. It's still going to do well against Grass-type Pokemon. It has Scald for stuff like Bastiodon and Galarian Stunfisk. It is now a part of the meta, so be sure to try it out. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.